The search for missing children, Jack and Lilly, raises more questions than answers. Until now, I think we are one step closer to finding out what really happened to the children based on Daniel Martell's own words.
You could certainly say they're not here. Come on, I've been asking you to bring the cadaver dogs to come check. They're not there, in my opinion. He knows where they are.
This is not something that we stop working on. We've got 2 young children, Lily and Jack, who've gone missing from their home, and it is a Missing Persons Act investigation still at this time. But we need to find answers to that. There's a lot of legitimate public concerns about how 2 children go missing and we can't find them. So we're going to continue until we have answers.
And listen, guys, the RCMP are not telling us half of what they know, and they don't have to. Nobody has to tell us anything. But as I was looking through this case, I saw another YouTuber talking about that they call that a FOI pop request from RCMP. And they were looking back at a letter from RCMP that clearly talks about them having a reason to believe that the people that they're looking at have knowledge that can lead them to the Jack and Lilly case. All right. They do not think that those children wandered off. Now, they sealed that document, and this person did a FOI pop, which I'm not really sure exactly what that means. But from the day one, they've said they don't believe that these children wandered off, and they signed and dated it, and then they sealed it. Why would they do that? What do they know, and how close are they to getting answers? Well, I mean, why are they saying the children didn't wander off and talk about, they say the investigation team from Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit has referred this matter to me to support in seeking your consideration for its inclusion to the program, as they believe there are individuals who are privy to the information that could result in locating Jack and Lilly. I recommend that this case be added to the Rewards for Major Unsolved Crimes program for a period of 12 months, at which time the status of the file will be reviewed by Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit. They signed, dated it, Chief Superintendent Dan Morrow, and then they sealed it, which I don't understand. I'll show you that right after I pull this. Let's finish this.
He says bringing dogs back to these woods again could be a possibility if new information suggests they missed something. Angela McIver, CBC News, Lansdowne.
All right, so they don't call that one a FOIA. I know about FOIAs, guys. I know what a Freedom of Information Act is, but in Nova Scotia, they're calling it something else. The people that did the documentation. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. All right, so I have some of the disappearance facts on here, and there's the actual letter. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. So there's the letter that I was talking about. And it says here, we've obtained through the FOIPOP, which is in Canada. Now, in the United States, they're FOIAs, Freedom of Information Act. So I don't know. I didn't even have time to look up what FOI pop request is. I'm assuming it's similar, but it's request. The RCMP Chief Superintendent on June 6th requested that Jack and Lilly Sullivan's disappearance be added to the Major Rewards Unsolved Crimes Unit. And then they say they have a reason to believe there are people with knowledge that can lead us to Jack and Lilly. So they're looking a bit closer, I believe, at the people that were there, not only that night, but that live on the property. So you can see that they wrote that up in June, and then they sealed it. So why did they seal that, and why are they leaving out a ton of information for us to just try to guess? And I think that's what causes a lot of this, a lot of the interruptions in the case, a lot of the creators just saying whatever they want and filling in the blanks. That's what happens. That's what happens when you seal documents. I mean, all right, now let's take a look at this. Now we're up to date. All right, we've been here 23 minutes. I hope you guys know what we're talking about now. Everything else is coming from yesterday. All right, and then I'll tell you when we switch back. It's under a Missing Persons Act, so we can still get info based on that since it isn't criminal. Okay, thank you. Weren't they digging a swimming pool on the property? And see, that's the thing. I haven't heard any of that. I've heard a lot of rumors, but Janie couldn't test. She's on a heart medication. Okay, yeah, they didn't name her at all. There's nobody else named in that. And thank you, Foxy, for the Guilty of Crime membership. and curious Christine toward your goal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all so very much. And it's okay. We're just getting started, Diane. You probably know this case, so here we go. Cadaver Dog search for Lily and Jack. All right, this was yesterday. Today is the 9th of October, 2025, and this is October 8th, 2025. Cadaver Dogs searched for Jack and Lily and didn't find human remains. All right, so let's just take a look at this real quick. Bless those children, guys. They need to come home. They deserve to be found. Here's the video that goes with it. Cadaver Dogs fail to find remains in Pigtown, but that doesn't mean that there's not more interviews, or I'm sorry, more information. Jen LeBlanc, I live in Nova Scotia. It was very cold then, right? They couldn't have survived longer than a few days, give or take. All right. What's up, Tara? Good to see you. Do you have braids? I think you got braids. I like your braids. All right. All right, let's keep going. Where's the mom in all this? She's not around. She disappeared. All right. She kind of did the whole thing that Chris and Katie did in the Sebastian Rogers case, where they just picked up and left while their children are missing, or child was missing. All right, I appreciate it. DMB, I appreciate everybody in chat today, because I'm sure you guys have heard different information than I have, but there's a lot. So listen, freedom of information and protection of privacy, FOI POP. Thank you. I appreciate you, DMB, so much. Diane Balboa, thank you for helping towards a goal for the $3 super sticker. All right, let's go to yesterday. All right, now listen, finally the dogs have come in. You'll hear Daniel talking about how he's been asking for the cadaver dogs to come in. All right, cadaver dogs, specially trained to pick up the scent of human remains, did not find the two children who have been missing from rural Nova Scotia for more than 5 months now. RCMP announced Wednesday they renewed calls for information in the disappearance of Jack and Lily. And you guys will understand why law enforcement is calling for people to give them information if they know it. All right. You say, I feel like they're with Malaya. That's an interesting concept, Kit Kat. Let me know how you feel at the end of today. She legitimately left right after her interview. Ding, ding, ding. Of course she did. That's what all mothers do. Not. The chief's mom says, not on the res. All right, let's keep going. All right, now listen. I told you what happened. Jack and Lily, 4 and 6, went missing May 2nd, 2025. All right, so let's catch up to today, or yesterday. Sergeant Rob McCammon said two dog teams that traveled from British Columbia searched a total of 40 kilometers over 3 days in late September. All right, Inspector Luke Reddy and his police dog Narc, as well as Sergeant Dave Whalen and his police dog Kit. So we got Narc and Kit searched the property the children went missing from, along with the nearby pipeline intersecting trails, and in the area where a pink blanket was previously found. The officer in charge of the major crime and behavioral science of Nova Scotia said the locations had the highest probability of finding the children, but they were not found. Now, they're saying it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no possibility that there isn't human remains there. But as he said in an interview on Wednesday, they feel they've exhausted the areas that the best they can. All right. And that's what we're going to get into today with the Daniel Martell interview, because we're going to see what his response is to this whole thing. He's overly cocky, overly interjected in the case, and he knows way too much. So he says he knows everything. He's been asking them to do this for a long time. He's been begging them to do this, and they just won't do it. In my opinion, they waited way too long to bring out the cadaver dogs, guys. It was cold. It's been hot. There's creatures out there. There's things that could have happened. Also, somebody could have went back to the burial site and moved them. They could have removed evidence. It's been too long. I don't know why they waited that long. All right. All right. Now, there's the searchers, right? This came out yesterday. The children's disappearance in early May sparked an extensive grid search originally. All right. 8.5 square kilometers, most dense woods. You guys know about this case if you know. Volunteers search service dogs, drones, and helicopters. However, they didn't have cadaver dogs, which in my opinion they should have. All right, so RCMP say no. We're gonna get into that. I'm not gonna go. We're gonna see this, what they call, I guess, a press conference in a little bit. All right, so you all get into all that. We're gonna hear him and many details, and then we're gonna hear him from this interview and many details broken down. Right, I'm not gonna read about the interview. I'm gonna show you because, well, that's how we do around here, right? I think we're all visual beings. Some of us aren't, because some of you guys just are cleaning and listening. A cadaver dog can scent even if the bodies move. Proteins live in the soil. They can, but the likelihood of the weather, where it is, etc., I think they waited too long. So, yeah, I'm not saying that everything is gone, but you can remove and move a lot of evidence in that time frame. All right, so let me jump into the next one, the cadaver dog fail. This is the one from that interview, and then we're gonna, we got a lot today, guys. Buckle up, Buttercup.
A new update in the investigation into the disappearance of 6-year-old
Hold on, I don't know what happened there.
Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan is raising more questions than answers. The sister and brother went missing nearly 5 months ago, and on Wednesday, the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crimes Unit announced their efforts to locate the children continue.
Are you considering this a criminal investigation yet?
We're still investigating it as a missing person act. We don't have, we follow facts and evidence. So we collect the information.
Yeah, this is a full interview, which we're going to watch in a bit. It gives a lot of details. And sometimes you guys need to pay attention to what somebody isn't saying. All right. And again, I don't understand how they, what he's talking about or why they classify it that way when it says one thing. And when you look at the documentation that's not readily available, it says something different. So I wonder what's really going on that they're not telling us.
And from that, we base our decision making.
But for former officers like Jim Hoskins, everything made public in this case suggests criminal activity.
So you got 2 kids missing under those kind of circumstances. To me, definitely a major crime and a possible criminal offense somewhere. Something nefarious.
Yeah, I like how this guy interjects because he's part of this and he's right. In my opinion, this is a criminal act. This is something that happened criminal, and the last people to see them hold the key to a lot more. We still haven't heard exactly with details what happened the night before or days before about the party. Who was at the party? Where are the people that were at the party statements? Who are all the cars that were going in and out? Where are all the cars? What were they doing? Who saw the kids last? Now, there's a lot of different interviews and speculation, but it's not documented by RCMP, and it hasn't been added to this. Even this new press conference doesn't say any of that. And it's interesting how they're projecting on to us on YouTube. You'll see it in a little bit. Oh boy. Oh boy.
To me, may very well have happened.
Not to mention a $150,000 reward for information, something Hoskins says you don't typically see in missing persons files.
All the techniques for a major crime are on display. They just haven't said it is a criminal investigation.
When the search first began back in May, sniffer dogs were called on scene.
I like how they call them sniffer dogs. Yeah, so if you guys don't know about this case, I hope you know about it in the first 32 minutes that we are.